we're good. All right. Okay, cool. Are you aware that I can only do the first 2 games tomorrow, and then Brian, who's the media relations guy here, is going to call the rest of the game tomorrow himself? Yeah. He's done play-by-play in the past, apparently. It's been a long time. But, yeah, and he told me he might wander over and, like, sit in on one of the first couple of games with me.
Yeah, I feel bad, but I had told him when he first asked me to do it that I was out that Sunday, and then he sent the schedule, and I was like, remember, I'm out on Sunday, but I think he's been so busy, he just didn't.
That's the sense that I got.
Process it.
I told him, I'm like, look, I can call around. It's not going to be easy finding somebody that
knows enough about lacrosse to
and is not busy and
muddle through it on one day's notice.
Yep. Especially when the Ravens are playing at the same time. Our finale here on day 2 of the USA Lacrosse Fall Classic sees the Canadian national team in those black shirts, black shorts, red numerals, black helmets, moving right to left in the first quarter against Penn State. White shirts,
silver shorts, Nittany blue numerals, and a prolonged battle for the first face-off. Thought we might see a penalty already.
Definitely a high level of competition out on the field. You have to imagine that Team Canada is just riding high after their win yesterday over Team USA. Meanwhile, for Penn State, got to play Team USA earlier today and had a chance to think about some things that went well, think about some things they wanted to improve on coming into this contest.
The Ignacio-Mullins battle won by Mullins, and that's interesting because we didn't see a whole lot of face-offs lost by Team Canada last night. She's Monica Moore. I'm Glenn Clark. Great to be back with you from Tierney Field. Again, big storyline. Team Canada, for the first time since 2014, recorded a senior-level national team win over Team USA last night. Feet in front, and getting just enough of that Caleb Creaser to turn it aside. Ground ball did not roll all the way out. Creaser able to scoop it up. Wow, that is
Look
gutsy.
at that speed. Oh, my goodness.
Creaser thinking, I'm just going to go clear it the entire way myself. He, of course, eases up at midfield, gives it off to Casey Wilson. Monica, Team Canada, impressive in so many areas, but most importantly at the face-off dot last night. Ignacio went 10 of 16, and then Jack Oldman went 8 of 10 against the duo of Mikey Sisselberger and Petey LaSala. That set the tone as they were able to rally from down 3 in the second half and get that overtime victory.
Yeah, I think for Team Canada, certainly the face-off wins set the tone, but just the fact that Team USA would stretch out a lead, Team Canada coming roaring back, and just the clutch play of Dyson Williams. It doesn't get more clutch than that.
Shot off the side netting from Ty Kurtz, and so Frasian able to pick it up and lob it downfield. And as you point out, clutch play from Dyson Williams last night. The Duke star scoring the game-tying goal with just seconds remaining. And then the game-winning goal in overtime. His only 2 goals of the night. Picked the right time to come up with
That's right. Right time, right moment. His teammates did such a good job finding him, trusting that he was going to have the ability to make those big plays. But, of course, the other standout, Ross Scott and his 4 goals. Another one who just found multiple ways to be effective in that event.
Back from X, trying to make a move. The youngster, Lehman, he put on a show in the first game. Not able to get that one to go. The ground ball scooped up by Trainer. Penn State goes back to work. TJ Malone with a stinger, not on target.
I can already tell you that Kyle Lehman, he is going to be a fan favorite for Penn State. They are going to love watching him play. He's so aggressive, plays with a lot of confidence out on the field, and he has fit in so well with this offensive unit.
Getting free. Luke Mercer not able to put it home. Mercer coming off a 10-goal season. Now a senior. Prolonged possession for Penn State, which is their first opportunity to remind you. International rules, even for the college team. What a finish there. Matt Trainer. First of the day, he breaks the seal for the Nittany Lions.
Really did such a good job working around the goal. Take another look at this. Just working around the crease, takes that step, loses the defender, gets just the slightest opening. And when you can see it from that angle on that replay, that was such a good shot placement over the shoulder of the goalkeeper.
1-0 Penn State gets the first goal of the day. Matt Trainer, and if you weren't with us for our first game today, we talked about one of the storylines for Penn State. Matt Trainer moving to attack this season. And he looks awfully comfortable.
He certainly does. Very bright spot there for Penn State.
And there's the youngster, Jack Oldman, winning the faceoff, picking up where he left off last night. This kid is impressive.
He really is. Just can go toe-to-toe with anyone. So much composure and so much rests on your ability to win those faceoffs. And that for Canada yesterday kept them in the game at times, and then proved to be one of the ultimate deciding factors.
Canada trying to get their first goal of the day. Sam English getting his hands free, thinking about it, steps down and delivers.
He was another standout last night in terms of some of the highlight reel worthy plays that we saw from him, and he was very involved late game.
Sam English
Again, showing you the stutter step there, winding up, crushing the shot.
English had 2 goals and an assist last night, gets his first goal of the day, getting ready for his 5th year up at Syracuse after an outstanding career at Princeton, including 7 goals and 13 assists a year ago. Good start for this one for Sam English. And a quick face-off win for Mullins. Going up against Oldman. Mullins gets that one. Penn State in front. That scoreboard not correct. For some reason, both here at Tierney Field and our scorebug, it still shows 1-0. I promise you, it is 1-1. That goal did count.
Yes.
Penn State takes possession back.
It's a big face-off win for Penn State. Was something they struggled with at times earlier today against the U.S. team.
Running shot, Matt Costin. 2-1 Penn State.
I really like how Penn State is asserting themselves early on in this contest, playing with a lot of confidence on the offensive end. These are just some great individual efforts that we have seen. And again, the shot placement going low with that shot. That's a hard shot to place exactly where you want it.
So let's not mix words. It ended up being a 16-9 final earlier today when Penn State fell to Team USA. But in the early going, they were very competitive in that first quarter. Now trying to stretch that out, compete for closer to 4 quarters. Oldman picks it up himself. Again, headed to Ohio State, where they've got to be extraordinarily excited about what they're seeing in the former Minto Cup champion.
They do, because it just sets the tone. When you have a player like that who's battling so hard to win the faceoffs, you don't want to let him down after he's done all that hard work to earn possession for you. And I think that was a big part of the success last night. And, of course, Team Canada, just the composure again, not getting rattled in those late-game moments. That's an important skill to have as you start thinking about the future and constructing your future national team rosters.
Shot blocked on the way in. That was Peshko, who had the incredible assist on the late tying goal last night for Dyson Williams.
Well, that's right. There were so many heroics there. You certainly can't give all the credit to Dyson Williams, even though he was the one that was able to finish on both of those shots.
Running shot from a hog wide, backed up, stays with Team Canada, trying to even this back up around the midway point of the first quarter. One storyline from last night, the dominance that Canada found at the dot. It was brought up to me by a few folks. It is certainly possible, because there are some subtle rules differences in international face-offs, and that Mikey Sisselberger, Peter LaSalle may have been slow to adjust to some of those rule differences. Also heard a rumor that there might have been a stick issue for those guys. Still, it was pretty dominant from Canada at the dot.
No, it certainly was. And the other thing that we saw, and we talked quite a bit about this last night with Team Canada, was just seeing that box lacrosse background and working in tight spaces, Ross Scott in particular. It really was, I think, a whole combination of things that led to Canada's victory, and you can't take anything away from them.
Dyson Williams throws it away, so Penn State gets it back with a chance to extend their lead here in quarter number 1. Penn State, as we talked about so much in their first game today. Not my first game. Monica's been here since, I think, 2 in the morning.
It's been a fantastic day. We really have just seen tremendous lacrosse start to finish. And despite what the scoreboard showed after that first contest for Penn State, I thought there were so many bright moments for them, particularly in the early goings, how they came out, how well they competed. It's a great check from behind.
Lehman has it checked out, and we have our first number issue today because someone is wearing number 13, and unfortunately, no one has told us who that is.
That's right. We tried to plan ahead for that, but
try to get to the bottom of that. I was to understand there would be no such issues, but that's okay. We'll plow forward. TJ Malone makes the move. Ooh, he drew the attention, and so he thought that would leave Trainer open, but I don't think Trainer was expecting the pass.
No, he absolutely was not, but it was a good recovery by Trainer.
And Trainer was expecting Malone to go right in on Cage. Now back behind, Lehman trying to get free, gets inside, another hard dodge right in front. The talented freshman, Kyle Lehman, extends the lead to 3-1.
He's just putting on a show right now. That is absolutely what he's doing. Take a look at these moves. Back behind net. The spin. Working around the crease and the shot placement. Knew the goalkeeper had come out to try to defend. Just wrap that ball around. He's playing well above his years right now, just in terms of the level of play that he's bringing, the smart decision-making, the shot placement. I mean, this is years of hard work. He's been training for this moment, but he is going to be such a fantastic addition to Penn State's roster.
Richie Houston out there this time for Penn State. Oldman comes away with it. First goal of the day for Lehman. First goal of the game, that is. For the day, he's now got 3 because he had 2 earlier.
And we're certainly anticipating maybe another 2.
And starting to think this could be one of the more remarkable young players in the Big Ten this year. He is really impressive. It's funny because you brought up the confidence. I actually wandered down to the field between games and had a short chat with Coach Jeff Tambroni. Yeah, easy for me to say. I talk for a living. Coach Jeff Tambroni. And I said, boy, you weren't kidding. That kid is talented. He said, it's his confidence. He is not this seen pro opponents in the first game. That shot is wide off the outside pipe. That doesn't affect him whatsoever.
You know, that's something you can't coach. You can't teach it. It's something that players develop over the years. It's an X factor for them, and you're just seeing it for him.
Adam Sherlin-Beatty's backing up that own shot off the pipe. Sherlin-Beatty's a late add to the roster. Great one to pick up, and a nice save from Frassian. Sherlin-Beatty's the former Rutgers star, now playing with both Cannons in the PLL, the Vancouver Warriors in the NLL. What a career he had in college, playing in the Big Ten. Now making an impact as a pro this year with Cannons. Scored 3 goals. I know that Team Canada had to be very excited to have a player of his caliber available to come in and help out this weekend.
That's right. Very lucky for them that he was available to come participate with the national team. Penn State, meanwhile, we've seen them show some good patience on their offensive end, making some good decisions.
So I can tell you now that Matt Wright is wearing number 13 today, and I can also tell you that TJ Malone is fired up.
He's having a day. He was impressive in the first contest, and again, you can tell that he feels like he has some unfinished business after the matchup against Team USA, really trying to press the issue there, working around his defender. Second defender comes over to defend, not phased at all, completely laser focused on the goal.
Hammering it down, his first of the game, 3rd here at the Classic. TJ Malone extends the lead to 4-1. What a first quarter for the Nittany Lions.
It's just the mentality right now that we're seeing out of Penn State, particularly with how well they're operating on the offensive end, because Canada, they've won a lot of faceoffs. They've done a lot of things correctly, but what we're seeing out of Penn State is the efficiency, the patience on the offensive end. Not a lot has been forced so far. They've played very smart.
Saw Grant Hawes pick up the ground ball on that faceoff as we get a running shot wide from Luke Mercer. Grant Hawes, the 6'1", 180-pound graduate student midfielder. As Canada was screaming because Delamonte was flying in out of the box, and somebody had to watch for that, or else he was going to be hot. Grant Hawes, such a huge part of this team, and pushed down Mercer as he's shooting. It's wide, backed up. Grant Hawes, honorable mention All-American, second team All-Big Ten last year. He finished with 35 ground balls and 10 caused turnovers. And he is wearing a hollowed number at Penn State, wearing number 16 this season.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Yeah, it was a really good idea as Malone was cutting back in front. You see, he turns back to Donnelly and says, no, do that again. Number 16 jersey is awarded to a senior at Penn State who represents the heart of a champion in honor of their teammate for life, Connor Darcy, who passed away tragically in a car accident back in June 2015 before his redshirt junior season. Jack Trainer wore it a year ago, and the players who wore it are involved in passing it down to who's the next one, and they chose that Grant Hawes was the player that most represented what they wanted to do and continuing to celebrate the legacy of Connor Darcy.
It's really a great tradition that they have at Penn State in terms of the brotherhood they have and just what that jersey represents, something to aspire to. And Grant Hall is certainly a fantastic selection for that honor.
get a timeout here from Team Canada with 22.6 seconds left as they want to make sure they run and execute a good set. They have struggled out of the chute. Number 16, not the only number that matters at Penn State, Monica. Unfortunately, Jack Posey's not going to be playing this weekend, but the graduate defender from South Riding, Virginia, will be wearing number 11 this year. And the number 11 is worn by someone who persevered in the face of adversity. It's in honor of Michael Jacober, who was described as the best teammate. And for Jack Posey, wearing number 11 is a big deal. Coming off a torn ACL, Jeff Tambroni said in every sense of the word, he's just a terrific teammate. And that teammate mentality is important because Michael Jacober lost his family back in 2005. They were killed in a plane crash, and the Penn State team all rallied around Michael Jacober. So that idea of being a teammate and being someone who's involved is something that is represented by the number 11. It's a really special honor.
And the great quote that we got about the person who wears that jersey, great leaders create other leaders. They don't create followers. I really love that. I think that's such a great way to look at what your mission is when you're in a role as a captain, when you're in a role as someone who wears one of these jerseys that represents so much for this Penn State program.
Canada out of the timeout, trying to execute late, running out of time in this quarter. Coming back up, English fires it across and throws it away. That is definitely not what was designed in that huddle.
And I know that Canada has not looked as crisp as we saw them at times last night, but what we noticed the most about them was their ability to come back.
They trailed by 3 last night, rallied back to win. They trail by 3 right now. At the end of the first quarter, it's all Penn State so far. They're in front 4-1. You're watching the 2023 USA Lacrosse Fall Classic.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels.
I used to go missing all the time. I let everyone down. I even let Shannon Sharp down.
Yeah, you let me down. They've been told how you feel yourself doesn't matter. That electrolytes are all the same. And just like that, they're gone. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Could be the difference between dominating and disappearing. Gatorade. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
Underway to start the second quarter, a prolonged face-off battle, ultimately grabbed by Kevin Parnham for Penn State. Shot wide from Matt Traynor. Penn State in front of Team Canada, 4-1. Here at the USA Lacrosse Fall Classic. Glenn Clark, Monica Moore with you.
Now, we certainly don't expect for Team Canada to go away quietly here again after what we saw last night. They just have so much talent on this team, but I think Penn State is just executing so well. I like the assertiveness we're seeing out of Matt Traynor in his new role.
Certainly at least have to ask if maybe there was a little emotion spent last night by Team Canada, not just the dramatic come-from-behind win. Wow, what a shot low to low from TJ Malone.
You have to love what you are seeing right now out of TJ Malone. You can just tell he really... Glenn, we talked a lot earlier about after the loss last year in the national semifinals, how players would react to that, how they would come back from that. You see, TJ Malone to me right now just looks like a man on a mission.
Second of the game for TJ Malone, who on top of everything he did on the lacrosse field, also a Scholar All-American a year ago. 5-1. That's the point. It wasn't just a come-from-behind, overtime, late heroics win. As I mentioned, it was the first win over the United States since 2014. And I do understand that these are not the same teams that played at the World Championships. Very few of the players, none on the American side, only a couple on the Canadian side, were on that roster. But still, you could sense that it was emotional. This is still Canada-USA we're talking about. It's the best rivalry in lacrosse. So you could sense there was a little bit of emotion, and you wonder if that impacted that team coming in today where maybe they weren't quite as up for the start of this one as they were for the start of last night's game.
Certainly a possibility. I mean, you do know that it was still a big one for Team Canada last night. When you think about the history of that rivalry, and even if you did not play this summer in that matchup, it's something that you've grown up with, being a lacrosse player. And so I think you are right that was just a game that meant a lot on both sides of the field. But again, I expect for Canada to get going here. They have so much talent.
Sherlyn Beatty's great fake. It gets back inside. Frasian protecting. Bounces all the way out to Hogg. Giving chase, saving it. Mike Robinson. Mike Robinson had a hat trick last night.
Yeah, he's one of the great offensive options.
Great find, but Frasian again.
Frasian standing tall right now with some heroics to shut down those opportunities by Canada.
Denying the Johns Hopkins senior Jonathan Peshko, coming off a 16-goal, 5-assist season. Had a big assist late last night. Thought he was going to get a dunk there. Frasian, very impressive.
Yeah, back-to-back clutch moments for the Penn State goalkeeper.
Reigning Big Ten Specialist of the Year. Frasian, part of the reason why there is so much confidence in this Penn State program and what they're going to be capable of doing. We talked about it a lot in our first game. Trying to build off of a trip to national semifinals.
Well, and certainly it's not rocket science. You need those core components, right? You need that goalkeeper who has the confidence back in net, who has the experience. Certainly you need someone good at the face-off dot. Those core things that you need to be healthy, as we've talked about.
Gotta get some luck. Malone's shot deflected in and easily picked up by Creaser. Certainly they have scorers they can count on. They have so much in so many areas. Wild shot from Robinson.
And I think you need the leadership, which is something that they do have, because college lacrosse season is hard. There's ups and downs. You need those players out on the field that can keep everyone level at the right moments.
And you have some years on both the men's and women's side, right, where you have some clearly dominant teams, some teams that are obviously going to be overwhelming, and it's going to be very difficult. And of course, Virginia and Maryland there for a few years really stood out among those teams. But this year, it doesn't seem like that's necessarily going to be the case as we get another shot wide. And so that leaves it a little bit more open for teams that are ready to take a jump. Finn Thompson, by the way, the one that took that shot. And we saw a year ago Notre Dame make the run, win the title. Is this the year for Penn State to step up and take that next step? Hogg, that one did. That hit the netting and bounced back out. That is a good goal for Graydon Hogg. Ends a drought for Team Canada, cuts the Penn State lead to 5-2.
Yeah, he has quite the resume as well. One of the things that stood out to me, America East Man of the Year finalist, and seeing a lot of the skill set there. That was a great spot to pick to place the shot. Once again, you got a great goalkeeper back, Frasian, for Penn State. So you're going to have to be smart with where you place your goals, and that was a good decision by Graydon Hogg.
Hogg, the number 15 overall pick in the NLL draft by the Rochester Nighthawks. ends the drought for Team Canada. It's 5-2, but that's followed up with another face-off win for Mullins. Possession right back to the Nittany Lions.
You can tell he's taking a lot of pride in terms of the way that he's handling the face-off, something he wanted to clean up a little bit after the first contest today against Team USA.
Ethan Long comes free, not able to take advantage of that loose stick. There's Jordan. Move back to the middle. Malone will send it back behind to X. Lehman nearly lost his footing, gets back up, but that slowed him down just enough. However, the second defender came, so somebody should be open. Great fake. Oh, off the pipe from Ethan Long. And
it's a good battle there.
Yeah, somehow that was saved at the restraining line, but within that entanglement, Mike Robinson able to come away with the ground ball.
I know they didn't capitalize on that possession, but they're going to force a turnover, it looks like here.
There was a real chance there for Parnham to come away with the ground ball. Penn State does ultimately get it back. In transition, good movement, open shot, but wide off the stick of Matt Traynor.
But on that last possession, again, I liked the setup of the offense, the patience, the build, really looking for that good opportunity. I just feel like they're being very intentional about what they're doing on the offensive end, and it's led to a lot of success so far in this game.
Penn State in front, 5-2, midway point of the second quarter. Slowing it down a little bit on this possession. Malone trying to win a one-on-one matchup. Can't get his hands free. Comes back the other way. Regroups. Dodging to his left. Shoots wide. Backup is there in the form of Ethan Long.
Yeah, he's looking for his shot every opportunity he gets. He's been a great leader out on the field so far this evening for Penn State.
Long lobs it back to X. Comes up top, shot will not get through. Matt Costin had his shot blocked. Go the other way. So Penn State, last couple of possessions, empty. Slowing down a little bit offensively, perhaps leaving the door open here for Canada to get back into it before the second quarter is over.
But Canada has to capitalize. They too having some empty possessions, not able to convert at will.
Peshko running the offense for Team Canada. Defended by John King. Good movement. Parnham staying in there tight. He's working against Mike Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson's been a little quiet so far. We certainly know what he has in the skill set.
Sherlin Beatties was in trouble there, but he survives it and gets a great look back to English, who capitalizes.
That's definitely finding the big play, not getting rattled. Great vision and a fantastic finish by Sam English, who has been a big part of Canada's success this weekend. Wasting no time there, but again, that is a big find right there.
Second goal of the game, fourth goal of the weekend for English. Sherlin Beatties gets his first assist and first point of the night. 5-3, so Canada back-to-back goals here.
This is what we've come to expect from this team.
They are not concerned in the face of adversity. They have stood tough, followed up another face-off win. Oldman gets it back. I'm sorry, that's actually Zach Deacon.
Do not go away quietly, as Team USA learned last night. In fact, they just hold their composure and can come up with those big game moments. We saw it several times against Team USA.
Peshko again running the offense. Canada a bit more deliberate, kind of what we expected from them, playing more to the international style and international rules. Chance to get it back to a one-goal game. Dyson Williams, oh, that's perfectly fed. And a hog again. Second of the day, it's a one-goal game.
You could literally just put together a highlight reel of Dyson Williams this weekend, because it has been outstanding. We've seen him as the goal scorer. Now let's take a look at him as the facilitator with the behind-the-back pass. Good finish. But Dyson Williams certainly has stood out.
First point of the game, third point of the weekend for Williams. Second goal tonight for Graydon Hogg. Penn State's going to take a timeout here as it's slipping away from them. And back to 5-4 with 4:10 remaining in the second quarter. Let's take a look at how Canada has fought back here in this second quarter. Graydon Hogg getting free, going on goal, shooting low, beating Frassian.
He's been such a big part of everything Canada is doing. And take a look at this one. Good finish by Sam English.
And Sam English and Sherlin Beatties looked like he was in trouble, but he had great vision. And then the behind-the-back feed from Williams, hitting the cutting Hogg for his second goal of the quarter. And Canada, who was trailing 5-1, back within one now at 5-4. It's not. Go ahead, Monica.
Some of those plays, you know, those are difficult plays to make. You have Sherlin Beatties was not as hyper-focused on where his teammates were, was trying to maintain possession, and still he has that great find with Sam English. And then you have Dyson Williams, who makes that fantastic pass to Graydon Hogg.
Just looking at the atmosphere here, it's a shame the weather did not cooperate with us. For those of you that decided to hang out with us, with Monica and I today, instead of coming out to join us, that's a bummer, because what's been cool is a lot of tented areas. There's, of course, the National Lacrosse Hall of Fame Museum inside here at USA Lacrosse. Saw a lot of fans take advantage of that, given the conditions here. Wander in, check out the history inside the National Lacrosse Hall of Fame Museum. Torarton Trophy on display right when you walk in. A lot of trophies on display here.
Absolutely, World Championship trophy
right
on display. You can have a picture with it. But it's been a great atmosphere, and really credit to everyone at USA Lacrosse for what they've put on so far this weekend. We're far from done. We have another great day of lacrosse, but despite the weather, they still found a way to facilitate face painting. Lots of vendors here, lots of activities for the kids.
Mac Hobbs throws it away. Absolutely not what you're looking for out of a timeout.
No, particularly when you've lost the momentum. You're trying to get it back, and Canada is working so efficiently on the offensive end right now.
This always feels like one of those dumb broadcaster things. Really, that's not what they wanted out of it. I get it. All turnovers are not plays that a team wants. But it's especially killer after a timeout. When you use the timeout to try to change the momentum in the game, and then what you get out of that is instead a momentum swing right back to the other side. That is a more painful turnover than the average turnover is during the course of a game.
No, it is, particularly because I think your opponent takes a little pride in that turnover or that mistake that you have made, because they feel like they really achieved something in that moment, and they try to build off of it. Right now, though, Canada, I can't credit them enough for the way that they just don't get rattled, even though just as I say that, they turn the ball over.
Broadcaster curse.
Happened all day yesterday.
Peshko throws it away and gives the gift right back to the Nittany Lions. Can they take advantage? 2.5 to play in this second quarter. Again, results not the most important thing here at the Fall Classic, but particularly for someone like Penn State, to get a result, to get a win over a group of professionals, or mostly professionals, not all, but a lot of professionals, will go a long way to building their belief in what they're doing as they try to take a next step towards winning a national title.
Well, that's right. It just shows you can compete at every level in terms of what you're doing. And that young man right there, who we've talked so much about, TJ Malone, such a big part of everything that Penn State is doing. He really brings that level of confidence.
Skip pass from Malone to Costin, and Costin stings the corner.
Costin has had some really good moments this weekend. You see all the pieces to the puzzle. Take another look here. We knew that Malone was working to make something happen. It's a good find. There was so much power once again behind Costin's shot. That's his second of the game. And I like that response from Penn State. With Canada really pressuring, they're able to convert.
First assist, third point of the day for TJ Malone. Lead is now 6-4 for Penn State. After 3 straight goals from Team Canada, they end the run, get it back. They had a shot. Mullins could have gotten that one. Instead, it's kept on the turf. Mullins able to get it back himself.
We've talked a lot about that. Just the ability to withstand the pressure, ultimately come up with it, but a miscue.
A bit of a buddy pass from Jaden Jenkins. Fortunate that didn't create any disaster. So under a minute to play, Penn State with a chance to extend the lead. Interesting to see if they try to hold this. Again, we know it's an exhibition and you don't really want to sit on the ball, but you still want to exercise good habits. And I think late in a quarter, this is an opportunity for Jeff Tambroni to say, look, let's do what we would do in this situation. Hold on, take a final shot.
I think that's right, is that you do want to implement those good habits. You want to play the way that you would play in your season, in your spring season.
Oh, and away from the ball. That's a killer. So instead, they turn it over, and Canada's got a little time here, 15 seconds, as they push it ahead, and they're going to take a timeout. Yeah, they're going to take the timeout. They'll take their final timeout of the half here with 13 seconds remaining.
And as we saw last night, Canada doesn't need a lot of time to execute. So this is a great timeout call right here to try to set up what you want, but they are very dangerous in moments like these, and I think Penn State, no doubt, paid attention to what happened last night. They certainly know that about this Canadian team.
Canada, interesting coaching duties shared by the group of Mark Miyashita, the head coach at Canisius, as well as Tracy Koluski, the head coach for Panther City LC, the NLL team down in Fort Worth. Also Dan Coates, who's on the staff at Canisius, and the Canadian lacrosse legend himself, Kevin Crowley, all part of the coaching staff. And Crowley was on that 2014 World Championship roster. He knows a thing or two about coming up with wins over Team USA after what they did back in 2014. Then part of the staff now here in 2023 as they got the win last night. You pointed out during the break, Monica, we have not seen Ross Scott tonight, so Canada's top offensive option from last night, the attacker, the grad student, Rutgers, two-time honorable mention All-American, have not seen him tonight after he scored 4 goals against Team USA. Not a lot of time here, 10 seconds. Got to go. Got to hold on to the ball, too. Dyson Williams, 4 seconds left. He's not going to get it back, and that'll be how the half comes to a close. Canada not able to execute in their last second set this time. And because of it, Penn State has a 2-goal lead as we head to the break. Nittany Lions in front. You're watching day 2 of the USA Lacrosse Fall Classic.
We're thrilled to have MedStar as our partner. You know, MedStar is the biggest provider of sports medicine services in the Mid-Atlantic. We're fortunate we cover the Ravens, the Orioles, the Wizards, the Capitals, 15 colleges and universities. One of the biggest flags I think this organization can fly is being very proactive about health and safety as compared to just about any sporting organization I've worked with over my 30-year career.
Every player knows the skills you learn on the field can be the foundation for anything you choose to do in life.
Thank you for connecting me to a greater community.
We're growing beyond goals on the field.
And our futures are united.
So thank you, Lacrosse.
For inspiring me to be me.
We are better,
Safer,
And wiser together.
and we're building a stronger future
For everyone.
2 goals each for TJ Malone and Matt Costin in the first half for Penn State. Canada's got 2 goals each from Graydon Hogg and Sam English, but it's the Nittany Lions in front, 6-4. We'll come back in with first half highlights next. You're watching the 2023 USA Lacrosse Fall Classic.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to fall in hydration levels.
I used to go missing all the time. I let everyone down. I even let Shannon Sharp down.
Yeah, you let me down.
They've been told how you feel yourself doesn't matter, that electrolytes are all the same. Then just like that, they're gone. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Could be the difference between dominating and disappearing. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
Penn State in front of Team Canada, 6-4 at the half here at the 2023 USA Lacrosse Fall Classic. Glenn Clark, Monica Moore with you from Tierney Field. Monica, what jumps out after Canada's dominance at the faceoff dot last night hasn't been the case tonight. They're just 4 of 12 today against Penn State.
Yeah, I think Penn State was a little worried after what they saw Canada do last night, but they have performed very well, particularly in the second quarter, and I think that was a big part of their success. They're handling the ball very well. They were very efficient offensively, showed some good patience. I think they have to be really pleased with their first half.
We're going to take a look at the first half highlights from this one, see how it is that Penn State was able to build up this lead in the early going. Matt Trainer with some great fakes and then the finish over the shoulder.
Great individual effort, great technique, but we've been impressed all weekend long. Sam English really doing a nice job helping get that jump started.
Now Trainer, this time actually, sorry, this was Costin taking it all the way in himself, finishing for the first of his 2 goals.
And this has been one to watch right there, Kyle Lehman. And you see how fired up he is. So proud to be wearing a Penn State uniform.
The freshman's been really impressive. Penn State starts building up a big lead. TJ Malone dropping the hammer for the Nittany Lions. They had all the momentum.
They did. He was one of the true standouts to me, as you're going to see a highlight reel of TJ Malone getting it done.
And Canada started to find some answers after they fell behind by 4. Graydon Hogg, it gets them back within 3.
This is the moment where Canada just started to build up all the momentum. Good finish there by English.
Off the feed from Sherlin Beatty's got it back within 2, and then the behind-the-back pass to a cutting Hogg, and it was a 1-goal game again at 5-4.
And that was Dyson Williams on the pass, but Penn State not flustered at all as Matt Costin gets his second of the first half.
So they re-extend the lead to 6-4 at the break. Penn State trying to make some noise against the national team from Canada as we wrap up day 2. Early today, we had a great day. A couple of games involving the Northwestern women. They split a pair of games against the Canada and U.S. women's under 20 teams. Then we we had the U.S. men taking down Penn State 16-9. How's the nightcap going to finish off? We will find out when we come back in. The second half is next here at the 2023 USA Lacrosse Fall Classic.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels.
I used to go missing all the time. I let everyone down. I even let Shannon Sharp down.
Yeah, you let me down.
They've been told how you feel yourself doesn't matter, that electrolytes are all the same. And just like that, they're gone. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Could be the difference between dominating and disappearing. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
Getting ready for the start of the second half here at Tierney Field. Penn State in front of Team Canada 6-4. Glenn Clark, Monica Moore with you. Monica, I had the opportunity before this game, between our two games, I went down to the field and caught up with Penn State legend and now USA national team player Mac O'Keefe. And I asked him about his former head coach, Jeff Tambroni. I said, man, your coach was telling us so many wonderful things about you. And Mac O'Keefe said, what I love most about Coach Tambroni is how he took boys and made them men. And it's not just on the lacrosse field. He said, as people, he helped me improve. And I think it was a real testament to that relationship. And we had talked about how Jeff Tambroni had said so many wonderful things about Mac O'Keefe. And you can see how Jeff Tambroni has built something very special at Penn State that appears to be moving in the direction of a championship.
Yeah, and I think that those compliments, what more could you want said about you? That tells you so much about Coach Tambroni, his character, what he's trying to do with this program. He's a leader, and I think that just says it all. You can't say it better.
Mac mentioned he's very detail-oriented, which goes a long way in helping you understand as you make that transition. I think we all remember what it's like to be in our late teens, early 20s. We weren't always exactly as detail-oriented as we needed to be. The idea of like keeping a calendar, things like that. I think it goes a long way to introduce that type of structure for these young men as they are moving forward in their lives.
I think that's true, and that's what a lot of college coaches do. Certainly they make you a better player in whatever sport it is, but they make you a better person. They teach you these life skills that you really need to be a successful adult. It's one reason you see so many college athletes go on to find so much success in whatever field they go to.
Chase Mullins with a quick face-off win to start the third quarter. Lost his glove. That's the reason for the stoppage. Gets it back. And we are underway in this second half. Penn State in front 6-4. Led by as many as 4 in the second quarter. Canada able to get back within 1, but it's a 2-goal deficit as we start quarter number 3.
I think it was really important for Penn State to be able to find that late goal in the second quarter to stem the tide again before halftime.
Costin brings it back to the near side. Lehman, the talented freshman, has impressed us so much throughout both these games today. Big things coming for that young man early in his career, likely.
We've talked a lot about his confidence, his decisiveness, but I think the thing we haven't mentioned as much, and we should, is just the skill set in terms of the technical skill to be able to go 1v1, to beat defenders, to operate so effectively around the goal. And he's going to get better and better.
As expected, they go back to Drake Porter between the pipes. Team Canada, he's out there to start the second half, playing for Atlas in the PLL. It's having come from Syracuse, allowed 6 goals, made 2 saves. His half last night that he had played, as he played the first half for Team Canada last night.
Now the goal for Team Canada, number 33, Drake Porter.
And it looks like Frassian's still out there for Penn State to start half number 2.
He did well. He had some big stops in the first half of the contest, and certainly he's the one they're going to be relying very heavily on next year. Another shot from distance this time by Kyle Lehman.
4 saves in the first half for Frassian. 2 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Penn State's possession continues. Good job of picking that up off the turf, and a funky hop for Mac Hobbs. Running shot wide. Got that moving to the left. That's a tough shot across the body that Mercer took. Still looking for his first goal of the day.
Penn State trying to set some screens. Ball knocked loose. Big play.
CTGB for OG.
Yep.
Owen Grant.
And you have to remember, he was the player that helped cause the turnover last night.
Right.
When Asher Nolting was a little bit of trouble over on the far side. That was one of the biggest plays of the game.
That was how they got the ball back. Owen Grant playing for both Redwoods and the Vancouver Whitecaps after a great career at Delaware. 7 goals, 3 assists in his final season at Delaware, to go along with 57 ground balls and 38 caused turnovers, as Penn State gets it right back.
It's a good idea trying to go to the middle, just couldn't execute on the pass, but some good vision for Canada.
Frassian lobs it ahead. Ethan Long brings it up. Penn State goes back to work, nursing a 6-4 advantage, trying to add to it. Great snag right there on the end line. Matthews goes up to get it. We saw Matthews score a goal. Liam Matthews, another Penn State freshman. He scored a goal earlier today against Team USA.
We've seen several of the freshmen for Penn State really getting a sense of what is coming in the spring season. Certainly Lehman, the big name, but they have a lot of good incoming talent.
Trainer feeds it back up top, and nice save from Porter, denying Ethan Long.
That was a big play for Drake Porter with Canada down by 2. Will give the Canadians some momentum here. I think for Team Canada, as we've talked about, they really just don't get rattled. They stay very composed. They're very confident in what they do.
Hogg dodging left. Oh, thought he had a vision to the corner. Missed that by maybe, I don't know, 6 inches.
It was a good take, though, by Graydon Hogg.
They're going to switch and get Sam English on. He's got a head full of steam. Penn State able to recover. That sub game, Canadians very nearly able to take advantage.
Yeah, Graydon Hogg is really asserting himself right now. He's looking for those opportunities. That's a big defensive play for Penn State.
Knocked down, but in a scramble, it'll be thrown away. That's always the danger in a scramble. You sometimes hate it in this sport, where you do something really good like Joe Calandrino just did. Everything right for the freshman, but the ball doesn't go your way, and now all of a sudden you are in panic mode because you're a man down, essentially. Of course, they give it right back.
So a little sloppy here.
Another one of those freshmen, Joe Calandrino from Massapequa, by way of St. Anthony's, getting in, mixing it up.
I think the coaching staff, again, this is fall ball, right? They're looking to see what players can do, how they fit in with the rest of the mix. They're trying to give players opportunities, starting to formulate some plans for the spring season.
6-4. Canada looking for their first goal of the second half. English, that shot I think was impacted.
Yeah, Ty Kurtz on the shot.
Kurtz, who had 1 assist last night. Now with Chaos, the former Delaware star. 3rd-team All-American.
Big save.
Frassian continues to impress.
He really
not that we're surprised by it.
No, absolutely not. When you look at the season that he is coming away from, but certainly playing against pros here on the field today, to be able to stand so tall back in net, I think that's giving him a lot of confidence. These shots are coming quickly. They're coming with a lot of power behind them, and he's doing exceptionally well.
Calandrino unhappy because he got that shot the back from right and went to retaliate, and the official said, whoa, let's stop this right now. We saw what you saw. Another risky pass. It's twice today that Jaden Jenkins has put a little bit too much into a lob pass. Nearly hung his buddy out to dry. Shot blocked on the way in. Ground ball picked up by Jack Follows.
Yeah, you have to really try to calibrate those passes. You have all that adrenaline in the moment. Sometimes it can be hard to do.
It's also very difficult when you're in close quarters to pass in this sport. You never know exactly how to handle that. You don't want to put too much pace on a pass in close quarters, but if you put it in the air too much, just asking for someone to come separate it. And an offsides goes back the other way. There's a timeout taken. The officials are going to talk about it and maybe discuss whether or not they actually were offsides. The midway point of this 3rd quarter, the clock will stop at exactly the midway point. Officials are going to discuss this, make sure they're on the same page and in agreement. And it's looking like, yep, it's going to go back the other way. Wave that off.
Yeah, so I think Canada not happy with the sloppy play right now. They are 2 goals down, trying to come back once again, and they're not helping themselves out. Just a couple of miscues here. And we've seen from Penn State, you can't give them too many open doors because they can be very efficient offensively.
It's gotten cold tonight here in Sparks, Maryland.
At least the rain has let up, because that was certainly a factor earlier today when it was pouring down. It's made it a little nicer for the fans.
Perfectly executed. That's what Canada's been waiting for. Couldn't ask for anything better as they work it back in front. They get the goal to cut it back to a 1-goal game. Dyson Williams is first of the day.
We knew he wasn't going to be quiet from a scoring perspective.
Jack Fellows, assisted by number 23, Mike Robinson.
So hopefully we can see the replay again on that one for Team Canada to confirm who the goal scorer was.
Yeah, it definitely was Dyson Williams. It was announced differently, but I don't know why Jack Follows would be down there in that situation. That wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. Dyson Williams, indeed,
They're just
the goal
trying to
scorer.
keep us on our toes, Glenn.
Sometimes Monica and I look at each other like, are we the crazy ones?
And sometimes we are.
That's a fact. Dyson Williams, first goal of the game, 2nd point of the day.
Yeah, yesterday he was much more of a goal scorer in the big-time moments. Today, working more as a facilitator.
Again, interesting to point out that Dyson Williams didn't score until the 60th minute of the game yesterday, and then he had those 2 huge goals. So it's taken him a little while to get involved offensively both nights.
Saved the best for last, particularly last night.
Getting ready for his 5th year at Duke, coming off a 60-goal season a year ago. Also #1 pick of the Albany Firewolves in the NLL.
Oh,
wow!
Tough shot.
Muscling that through. Oh, that is big time from Mercer.
We've seen some difficult shots executed on the evening, but to me, that was one of the ones perhaps the hardest to pull off and was executed so well under pressure, a lot of power behind it. And you have to love, again, what we continue to see out of Penn State.
Mercer gets his first goal today. It was his 5th shot attempt in this game, and I know he had a few in the first game as well. Finally gets one to go. Penn State gets their first goal of the second half, 7-5. Canadians follow up with a face-off win. as they try to answer right back.
That's a big one by Oldman once again. I think that they have just come to realize they can rely on him so much to win these big possessions that they desperately need.
Again, the subtext to this weekend for the national teams, these are, in a lot of cases, younger players. Ooh, good response. Exactly what Canada needed. Graydon a hog. Nope, sorry, that's Ty Kurtz. Yep, Ty Kurtz scoring his first of the game to cut it back to a one-goal game.
But we're definitely starting to see the balance and diversity of the offense for Canada. Different players stepping up at different moments. He's been a little quiet on the weekend, but that's a big one. And Sam English, of course, involved again. He has been someone time and time again that has helped to facilitate and execute offensively both yesterday and today. I think he's been a true standout to us.
First assist, third point of the day for Sam English. But no, to the point, this will be taken all the way in, and I don't know if that's what Penn State needed right now. You need a settled possession.
That's right. They need to calm down just a little bit, to really be patient, possess the ball, not force anything.
These national teams, both the U.S., who we saw earlier today and last night, now Team Canada, trying to figure out what the group is going to be, not only to move into the next World Championship cycle, coming off the U.S. winning the world title this year. The subtext of the weekend, of course, we are 2 days away from what is expected to be the official final announcement that lacrosse will be part of the 2028 Olympics. It's thrown away there by Ferrone, and Canada gets it back with a chance to tie it up. And while we know it's a different concept, it's the sixes concept that will be part of the Olympics, a lot of the players in these national team programs have participated in sixes, maybe at the World Games in Birmingham last year, and every turn you want to try to get the attention of the Federation of Lacrosse Canada, in this instance, USA Lacrosse earlier, and making sure that you're on the radar. And for a player like Oldman, it's a great opportunity for him to really put himself on the radar for national team consideration.
He has shown so well just how valuable he can be, because to be able to come up with those big face-off wins at pivotal moments, at junctures your team really needs the possession, he really, I think, has caught a lot of people's attention. He's going to be one everybody's going to have their eyes on.
That's the backup goalie again, Ben Johnson, who has now come on here in this third quarter, replacing Frassian. We saw him make some great saves early. That's not going to be anything he can do something about.
Yeah, certainly not. Close range shot, well executed. And Canada, just time and time again, their ability to remain composed, to come up with the big plays as time is winding down in the quarter.
It's tied up 7 apiece now. Under 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Finn Thompson getting Canada back even.
And can Canada do it again? They can. We were just talking about it. Another clutch face-off win.
Whew, nearly turned into a perfect execution and transition. Big save again from Johnson.
But even still, just to win the face-off, to give your team the opportunity to try to convert on that goal, to try to take the lead after being down for quite some time. I mean, this Canada team, the one thing you can absolutely say for them, they're fun to watch. They keep it interesting all the time.
Finn Thompson, the sophomore at Syracuse, coming off a 19-goal, 14-assist season, gets his first goal of the weekend. It's a 7-7 game into the final minute. And again, it'll be interesting to see if Penn State's strategy is hold for the final shot.
And certainly, given the way this game is going, I think you don't want to give Canada the opportunity for another possession before the quarter ends, because they can execute so quickly. We saw that earlier in the game today. We saw it yesterday.
Ferrone running the offense, engages at about 22 seconds, and yeah, he draws the foul. Slash will give an extra man opportunity to Penn State. Now the question is, do you run anything here, or do you hold on to the ball and start the fourth quarter man up with possession?
Certainly tough call to make, and I think, again, for Penn State, because You said it numerous times, Glenn, that the result doesn't really matter here.
No,
however,
right. There's a big old but in there.
If you did get the result, it means quite a bit in terms of the way that you are starting off your season.
Nittany Lions trying to see if something opens up for them in these closing seconds. And now looks like they're going to back it out and sit on it. And you understand that thought process. Man up. Start the fourth quarter, no face-off. They'll have the ball. Should be a great finish ahead. 7-7. Penn State and Canada knotted up after 3 quarters. We'll be back with the fourth. You're watching the 2023 USA Lacrosse Fall Classic.
We're thrilled to have MedStar as our partner.
You know, MedStar is the biggest provider of sports medicine services in the Mid-Atlantic. We're fortunate we cover the Ravens, the Orioles, the Wizards, the Capitals, 15 colleges and universities. One of the biggest flags I think this organization can fly is being very proactive about health and safety as compared to just about any sporting organization I've worked with over my 30-year career.
Every player knows the skills you learn on the field can be the foundation for anything you choose to do in life.
Thank you for connecting me to a greater community.
We're growing beyond goals on the field.
And our futures are united.
So thank you, Lacrosse,
for inspiring me to be me.
We are better,
safer,
and wiser together.
And we're building a stronger future
for everyone.
Penn State had the right idea, holding for possession to start the fourth quarter, and Luke Mercer got a great look, but was not able to convert. Drake Porter making a save as Canada kills off the penalty. Even strength and even on the scoreboard as well. 7-7 to start the fourth quarter. Glenn Clark, Monica Moore with you from Tierney Field at USA Lacrosse headquarters in Sparks, Maryland.
I mean, I think when you look at the weekend, we've had so many truly close, exciting games. Of course, last night we had the overtime finish between Canada and the U.S. Today, the women, the U20 U.S. women versus Northwestern, that was a nail-biter. And then this one again, this weekend, living up to every single expectation.
Remember, Penn State led by as many as 4 in the first half. Canada has rallied all the way back to tie it up.
The one thing I know for sure, you just cannot count out Team Canada.
Certainly can't. They've been the comeback kids here at the Fall Classic. Rallied from down 3 last night. Williams tries to feed it in front. It's knocked down. Chase for the ground ball. Big battle.
There.
Scoots back out to Sherlyn Beatties. Canada in the scramble. Oh, the shot blocked as Peshko. It took him a second to release that, and that made up the difference.
Well, both of these two teams leaving everything out there right now. There is
Selling
a
out.
lot of effort, a lot of heart, a lot of desire.
To the other side, and Canada goes in front. Dyson Williams with his second of the game.
One thing you can say for him, he picks his moments, and he picks them very effectively. We talked about the fact that it took him a little while to get into the goal-scoring column last night, but it was the big ones. It was the ones that truly sealed the victory. And today, to give Canada this lead after they have trailed for so long in this competition.
Hogg with his first assist Third point of the day, Dyson Williams. Second goal, third point of the day, and Canada follows it up. Oldman again with the face-off win.
There just aren't words to describe what we have seen from him this weekend. I think if there were truly one X factor for Canada, it may be him.
Now, the bad news, they give it away, and so Penn State gets it back. And now how do they respond to adversity here in this fourth quarter?
That's right, because they have had the luxury of having the lead for quite some time. So I agree with you. How do they respond? What do we see from them when they are truly under pressure?
And they've remained committed to getting other guys out on the field, going deeper on the bench, giving those players an opportunity to play here in fall ball. Now, what can those guys do here in these big moments as they try to come away with a upset win over the Canadian national team? Heaton still with it on his stick, now moves it out wide.
But they're staying committed to the patience, really valuing the possession, working hard to stretch out the defense.
Back to the near side, Nils Berry.
Just hounded by the defense for Canada.
No possession clock, so even when you get frustrated, don't have to force anything. Just back it out, regroup, reset.
That's right, just maintain your composure.
Delamonte's shot not on target. Backup is there. And it seems odd in a one-goal game, but this feels like a big possession right now for the Nittany Lions.
I think it is, and again, for the very reasons that we've talked about. They have not been down a goal for quite some time, and Canada just standing tall defensively. Owen Grant again. You could come up with a highlight reel of just his clutch defensive moments this weekend.
Big stop for Team Canada with the lead, a chance to extend it in this fourth quarter. Pushed ahead, English. Canada slow it down. Of course, it's worth pointing out that also it matters, and when we say the results don't matter, one of the things that coaches tend to do in fall ball is go back and look at, hey, what was the game like when we had our ones out there? What was the score when we like that? That's the part of the game that really matters to us and we feel good about. Penn State, when they had their guys out on the field, for the most part, played quite well tonight.
You're starting to see what they're building with and what those pieces to the puzzle are. I think they're very excited about the group that they have, the success that they're building on, the future extremely bright for them. And I think, again, just as you continue to build what you're building, you bring in talent like we've seen from this freshman class.
Man, I got to tell you, speaking of that freshman class, Ben Johnson, I feel like that's about the fifth play that he has made between the game earlier today and now that have been really high level.
And I think that, not to take away from anyone else, but that may be one of the brightest moments that the staff is seeing, because when you're a goalkeeper, being able to withstand the pressure to play so fundamentally sound back in goal, that can be hard to do as a youngster. And so they're just seeing, and so much of being a goalkeeper is the mental aspect of it, and they're seeing it from him. And I think that is such an exciting thing.
He's been really impressive over these two games. Penn State not able to hold on to the ball, which is the difficult part for them, as they got to dig back in and ask for another stop, and they're not going to get it this time.
And Canada just slowly but surely taking over in the contest. And we said this earlier when Penn State built up a pretty sizable lead. You can't count out Canada no matter what the scoreboard says, and you're just seeing why.
It's a veteran move from a still young player, Jonathan Peshko. Still in college at Johns Hopkins. He wasn't planning on going to goal there, but he read the defense and saw there was a step to be had and just took it, got right in front, put it home. 9-7 Canada.
Yeah, he's another one, Jonathan Peshko this weekend, who in clutch moments has just come up big.
See the long pole trying to get into the action of Matt Wright. The backup not there. And so that ends up being a gift for Penn State as they try to rally in the fourth.
Really a much needed gift for Penn State, because if Canada had had a more prolonged possession there, it really starts to put the pressure on.
9-7. Canada in front. Can the Nittany Lions respond?
They certainly have. the offensive weapons to do it. We've seen a lot of them on the day, different players stepping up in different moments. But as you mentioned earlier, they've gone to a deeper bench within their roster to give other players opportunities here to show what they can do.
Past the midway point of this fourth quarter, Spinelli trying to get free. By the time he does, he runs out of angle, continues his run, feeds it up top, and that shot deflected. There's a good take from Peden. Work it back in front. Backup will be there as Matthews gives chase to the corner.
That was good awareness around the crease as well, just to maintain his footing.
Ooh, tough defense. Behind the back, not going to go.
It was so well created, though, on the play.
Agreed. I thought Brenfleck did well just to get that in front and give him a chance.
Penn State, they're doing the right things in terms of looking for this right moment offensively, trying to work together, trying to stretch out this defense that has been very strong as of late for Canada.
Back up top. Brenfleck trying to get free. Comes back to his right. Being given nothing, and now just intercepted by Porter.
Easier said than done in terms of trying to break free from this defense. And now Canada, we'll see if they try to have a more prolonged possession here. They've done the hard work in terms of getting this lead.
Front 9-7, under 6 minutes to play as Canada gets it back. I don't want the day to wrap up without us talking about a really neat story that I was not aware of about Penn State lacrosse until this week. Monica, we learned about a young man named Gavin Royer, who all the way back in 2014 had been diagnosed with a brain tumor, and through a partnership with the Friends of Jacqueline Foundation, he and his family got hooked up with Penn State lacrosse, where he signed a quote-unquote letter of intent and was sort of adopted by the team. And I thought one of the neat parts of the story was it wasn't just Gavin, but his sisters were actually adopted by Penn State's women's lacrosse team, which goes a long way to show that, like, every time a family is going through cancer, it impacts everyone. And the Penn State lacrosse family, the way they stepped up for the Royers was impressive. Another save from Johnson, who's been awesome. But what stood out to me in learning about Gavin Royer is, as much as Penn State's done for him, listening to Penn State players, current and past, and Coach Jeff Tambroni talk about how much Gavin Royer has done for them, and when they're in tough moments, thinking about him and what he's been through in his life, and when he's shown up for practices and just hung out with them, an opportunity to sort of take the focus away, have things, I don't know, reminder and context given to what it is that you're going through in your life as a lacrosse player. Really awesome to learn about that story and what Gavin Royer and his family have meant to the Penn State lacrosse family.
And just the sustained relationship, the continued commitment that the program has had with this family. And I thought another really important thing that we should point out about that conversation with Coach Tambroni is he's quick to say, you know, a lot of college lacrosse programs, a lot of college programs participate in the Friends of Jacqueline program. This is how Penn State got involved with this, and it has been a fantastic program that lots of lacrosse programs really try to give back, form those relationships, and as we talked about earlier with the student athletes, how they're not just learning about sports, they're learning about life. And so I think that is such a great example of what Coach Tambroni and his staff bring into this program.
9 years standing, their relationship with the Royers, which is really special. You see Penn State reserve goalie Ben Johnson, who's been awesome. The freshman has come in and made a string of saves to help keep him hanging around at 9-7. They got to capitalize on that somehow out of this timeout. Get a goal to give him a chance. 4:37 remaining in the fourth quarter. Nightcap on day 2 of the USA Lacrosse Fall Classic. Hobbs moves it wide. The Nittany Lions have an answer in them. Blatz, who scored an impressive goal earlier today.
He did. He had one that really stood out to us in a stream of goals that we have seen. And Trying to see here what the Nittany Lions have drawn up in terms of executing.
Hobbs gets in front. Backup will be there, so it stays with Penn State. 4 minutes to play.
And that's the thing. They're doing a good job being patient, but you do have to start thinking about the timing.
And they're throwing it away. Delamonte, unforced error, looking for Hobbs.
That's a tough one for Penn State in terms of how well they were running through the offense there, trying to create the opportunity that they were looking for. Just a small error will give possession back to Canada.
We joked about it earlier today. They don't crown a champion at the USA Lacrosse Fall Classic. But if they did, Canada now 3 minutes or so away from being able to sort of say they were the champions of the USA Lacrosse Fall Classic.
And there's certainly a lot of pride on the line. So not a trophy, not a medal, but I think that means so much in terms of just knowing how you came out this weekend, how you represented for your country, how you helped to increase your standing in terms of being noticed for future events, which is on everyone's mind right now with everything in the current landscape for lacrosse. And so I think these players for Canada, they have to be extremely happy with everything that they were able to do. And the biggest thing was just the resilience.
Sherlyn Beatty's going for the behind-the-back pass. Unfortunately, they were able to hold on to it. Hog shot, not on target. Backup is there. Stays with Canada with 2.5 minutes remaining.
And this is where the running clock, I think, really plays the biggest role. No shot clock, the international rules. We've certainly seen the impacts this weekend in these close games.
Canadians got a 1-goal win last night. They played close, tight games, had to come back in both of them. Down 3 last night against the USA, down 4 in the first half today against Penn State. Now trying to put the finishing touches on this as we go under 2 minutes to play.
And now they're just showing that skill set in terms of being able to possess the ball, to run some clock, to do things the right way.
And now they're going to be told to keep it in the box. It's the old stall warning. And they'll say, okay, sure, but we wouldn't mind running a little bit more clock off in the process, even if we have to keep it in the box.
Now, very clear what they're trying to do here, but that's a great cut.
Hog feeds and yeah, behind the back look. Worth it for Thompson, but he can't get it to go. And scooping up the ground ball, taking it the other way. Patrick Keenan. Unfortunately,
there.
Yep. Just not able to hold on to it. Canada gets it back. The stall warning appears to immediately be put on. Nope. Sorry. It's the wrong signal.
But that was the moment there for Penn State to try to take advantage. They just could not hold on to possession. And Canada has been doing such a good job just working the ball around, running some clock, managing the late game moments.
Canadians trailed 5-1 in the second quarter. They battled back to get within 5-4. They trailed 6-4 at the half. They've allowed just 1 goal in this second half.
And it's been really interesting because we talked about the absence of Ross Scott today. We had Mike Robinson, who was such a factor yesterday, not as big of a factor today. They've had other players step up in the moment. Certainly some repeats from last night. Dyson Williams, we've talked a lot about. Sam English, we've talked a lot about, but I think that's another thing that Canada has to be really happy about is just in different moments, different players taking control, but that's a big play right there. Penn State trying to check the ball loose. I really like it from Sammy McAvoy.
Yeah, the freshman, another one of the freshmen of this Penn State team from Fairfax Springs. That'll be the last moment of the game. Canada able to run out the rest of the clock and hold on for a 9-7 victory. Monica, 2 impressive performances from Canada here at the Fall Classic. They're going to have a lot to like about these young players as they try to start setting the tone for the 2027 cycle.
There's so much to like from what you saw out of Canada this weekend. Again, the resilience is the biggest thing to me because you have to have that quality. But the face-off wins, the diversity in the offense, they have so much to build on. I think this is a very exciting weekend for them. I do want to say, though, for Penn State, was very impressed with what we saw from them as well. They showed great composure. They really showed that they have the pieces, the building blocks to try to make another run this season. Again, as Coach Tambroni said, it's going to take some luck. It's going to take being healthy for the season, but they have so much talent on the field. I'm so excited for them.
2 goals each for Hogg, Dyson Williams, and English in the win for Canada. Got 2 goals for TJ Malone as well as Max Costin in defeat for Penn State. It has been a very long day. We have been so happy to bring you day 2 of the USA Lacrosse Fall Classic. Thanks to all of you who joined us. Thanks to our great crew for making it possible, the staff here at USA Lacrosse. Monica Moore, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you.
It always is. I love calling these games with you, Glenn. I always learn so much just from your knowledge.
I'm looking forward to being back here bright and early tomorrow morning. 8 a.m. is when we will start day 3, which will bring us the historic Brogdon Cup as we turn it over to the youth teams from both Team USA, Lacrosse Canada, as well as Haudenosaunee. Should be a great day of youth lacrosse action. That will start tomorrow at 8 a.m. And your final score here tonight, Team Canada 9, Penn State 7. For Monica and our entire crew, I am Glenn Clark. You've been watching the 2023 USA Lacrosse Fall Classic.